Okay, so Tammy, have you started recording?
Yes.
Okay, then we can start now.
Okay.
Yeah, just open.
Okay. So, for the homework, part 2, it says, well, we're learning about the independent samples. So, one professor at BYU Idaho Math Department collected data from the students to compare mean wages of the male and female students.
Okay.
Students from his classes completed a survey in which they then used to analyze their different wages. So, is your SPSS or your Excel working today?
Yes. No, I haven't tried it yet. Let me see.
Okay.
It's all right. Copying it into a browser. I think we are supposed to copy the link into a browser, right?
Copy what? I'm sorry.
This one, the class survey data for SPSS. Are we supposed to copy it into a browser before it opens?
So you open up the SPSS or I guess if you use Excel, just open Excel and then click on that link and it'll populate.
Okay.
It'll populate the data. Okay, Libby. I know. Yes, I know you like to do it. Do you use the VMware or do you use, did you buy the software?
I use the information given in the course, like some of the materials, the Excel sheets provided in the course. That's what I use.
Okay.
Do you get me? If you go to the resource, some of the Excel, yeah, I use. I'm checking, it's not working, so I'm checking the resource whether I can get that class data, survey data over there. It's not sure. Oh. No, it's not. It's not working. I think the data is not working for me. You said, how did you do? You open Excel, for instance. If I'm using Excel, I have to open Excel and do what again?
Well, I don't use Excel. I use the SPSS. But anyway, once you open Excel on my computer, I go down here to whatever that symbol is. I think that's, I'm not sure what that is, but anyway, and then it's like a menu or whatever. And then Excel is over here. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so then if I was to open Excel, I would pull up the program through my computer just by clicking into the menu button. And then once you open Excel, you can toggle back to your web browser, because at that point you would want to pull up the, I mean, I already have one open, so I'll just, so for instance, the homework, you could pull it up, the data through here. Where is it? Go to the main page and then go to the resources, and then the data files, and then at the let's see, it should be at the bottom for S.
Okay.
Survey data.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, so
Okay, so survey data.
another way that I do it, if I already have the homework downloaded to my computer, then you press Control and you drag your cursor to the data that you want. So in this case, you want Excel. I always use SPSS version, but it doesn't matter. It works the same way. So when you push Control on your keypad, and then you use your mouse or your cursor, whatever, to highlight, you just click on it. Just left click whichever one you want, and then that will populate the document. I didn't open up my SPSS on this particular computer because I like this one for my meeting, and then I use my my other computer for the math stuff. But anyway, so let's did that help? Were you able to do it now, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to do it.
Okay, Libby. Okay. Should we go ahead and start, or do you want?
Okay. Let's go ahead and start.
Okay. So for part 2, it says design the study. So how did you word your question?
Okay. Yes, it works now. I have it now.
Okay, great.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sure.
You were asking something.
Yeah, so I was just asking, for part 2, number 1, it says design your study, and A is asking us, what is the research question?
Okay, so looking at the data provided. Okay, so the research question is let me read the question. It says independent sample. One of the professors in the BYU Idaho Math department collected data from BYU Idaho students to compare the mean wages of BYU Idaho male students to BYU Idaho female students. The student from his class completed a survey which he then used to analyze if there is difference in these wages. So right now, the research question will be analyzing of differences between male and females' wages.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I put
Oh,
are the female and
uh,
male wages different from each other?
okay. And
So
this is state. Okay.
and then yeah, so you can read B, that's fine.
Yeah. And the B states the null and alternative hypothesis. Okay, so the null hypothesis will be okay, so the null hypothesis will it be the same as the research question? What is the research question? Okay, so the null hypothesis will be will it be the same as the research question?
Yeah, so from what I understand in the reading, the textbook material for lesson 3, it was saying that with our null, we're going to always, now that we're using 2 different variables, we're going to always consider the first group equal to the second group. That's going to be our null. So it kind of makes it easier, actually. So our alternative, so basically, the null is the group 1 mean is equal to group 2 mean. And then our alternative hypothesis is where we can say this one isn't equal to that one.
Is yes, yes.
Or, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
group
I
1
agree.
isn't equal to group 2. So there's
Group
going to be
two,
basically
yeah.
we're just saying there's going to be some type of a difference. We're not necessarily saying male makes more than female or vice versa. We're just saying they're different. Or that's what our assumption, our hypothesis is. That's what we're testing. Okay, so for the number 2, it says collect your data. So it says for A, describe the data collection process. So what did you get for that?
Okay, so describe. Okay, so I'll say that the data are simply distributed, like the data are simple random distribution.
So for this one, for collect the data, they're just asking how did you collect our data? So you could just say something simple like a professor gave all of his students a test, or not a test, sorry, a survey. So I feel like this particular survey or data set is not a simple random because it's more of a convenience style, because it's one teacher and they're basing the population on the whole student body at BYU Idaho. But it's just one particular math teacher, and he's questioning his students. So there's, probably enough students, over 30, so we can consider it a normal distribution.
Distribution.
But at the same time, to me, I feel like that's more of a convenience style. But anyway, so for question number 3, it says describe your data. And so for this particular, let's see. So when you do pull up the data in the SPSS or the Excel, I guess, basically our data populates and we get the output box, and the mean, let's see that again. The male's sample mean is $11.94 per hour, and then the let's see, their standard deviation is $10.49, and then there was a sample of 88 males. The females sample mean was $76 per hour. Their standard deviation was $3.17 an hour. They had a sample mean size of female students of 95. And then it wanted us to populate a histogram. I actually didn't do that part. So that you can visualize. And actually, though, the histograms are pretty similar in shape. So then for the next question, we're supposed to infer, just to look at the data. So part A, what type of hypothesis test is appropriate? You want to do that one?
Which question number 4? Which one?
And we're going to do, let me move this up so we can read it together.
Is it the question number 4?
Question 4, yeah. Part A. Yeah. What type of hypothesis test is appropriate?
So it's asking that what type of hypothesis test is appropriate. So for this case, so for this test, we have to know.
They're just asking us, which kind of test are we going to run to get the data?
What kind of test? I don't have an idea. I don't know.
Okay,
for this particular answer.
So for lesson 13, we're learning about independent samples, and so it's just called an independent sample hypothesis test.
Okay.
Because remember last week we learned about the T test. So this one is just, it's a different kind of test. It's just for the independent samples. Okay, so for part B, are the requirements met for this particular test? So for our independent samples hypothesis test, so our requirements would be that the data are a simple random and that the distribution from each of those two are normal. And in this case, I kind of feel that it's not technically a simple random test because it's only one teacher. If it was like 4 teachers in the math department and there was no like it was just randomly 4 teachers, and they took all the kids from those classes. I would feel more like it's a simple random, but in this case, I don't really feel like it's a simple random. However, they have tons and tons of students that they're getting data from, so I guess we're okay. For the answer key on this one, it says that, let's see, it says the sample size is large enough for each sample, so we can assume it's normal. It was not a simple random sample. So they do at least bring that up, but for this particular question, I think they just want us to go with it, pretend that everything is met, the requirements are met. Okay, so then they want us to test the statistic. So when we populate this, we get a t-score, which is
the sample mean minus the mu, right?
Yeah, well,
to compute the t-test.
Yeah, I didn't actually write it out on paper. The tutor told me last week that basically for the rest of the time we're in this class, we're not going to be writing stuff out by hand. We're going to be doing everything on SPSS or in Excel. So I didn't even write the stuff out on hand. I just let the computer do it. So, so we've got the t-score of 1.836.
Okay.
And the next question is asking us the degrees of freedom, which in the material it says that the
sample. I said to find the degree of freedom is the number of sample minus 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah. In this week's material, it says that even though that's the way that we calculate it by hand, now on, when we're doing this in the computer, we're just going to accept whatever the degrees of freedom that the computer says, which is going to be different from what we learned about. So I thought that was kind of weird because they just taught us that sample size minus 1, but what they're telling us is to go ahead and utilize the output information from whatever the data file that we're using. So when we get our output for this particular survey data, we get the degrees of freedom of 98.263. So I kind of want to, when I talk to my tutor again next week, I'm going to ask him, like, what's the difference? Like, why are we doing, sample size minus 1 for the beginning of the unit, and then now we're switching over to doing, because that's not the one. And I have a feeling it's something that we're going to learn about in the future. It's probably like the average degrees of freedom or something, because if you think about it, we have a sample size of 95 female students, and then we have a sample size of 88 male students. So who knows? Maybe that maybe there's some kind of like formula that they use to get the degrees of freedom based upon the 2 independent samples in whatever data we're looking at. So I'm sure we're going to learn more, or I'll just have the tutor tell me. Okay, moving on to part E. Compute the p-value and compare it to the alpha level. So in this case, hang on 1 second. Just make sure you're still there. Okay. So in this case, we let's see. We have the p-value is equal to 0.069, and we're using an alpha level of 0.05. So in this case, the p-value is just a tiny bit bigger than our than our alpha. But in any case, when that happens, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. So for F, we fail to reject. And then for G, present your conclusion in the form of an English statement. So basically, whenever we fail to reject, that means we don't have enough evidence to prove or what our testing is. So we could say, let me read my answer. We have insufficient data to conclude that the male and female wages are different. So then for, let's see, for part H, it says, rather than testing a hypothesis, now say that you just wanted to estimate the difference between the male and the female wages at a 95% confidence interval. Create the interval to make this conclusion or whatever. So then, again, it's going to be in the output pop that we created, and it's it depends on which one you subtract first. So when I did it, I got negative 4.529, comma 0.176. And then, so for part I, basically, we just explain what that means. And so you could say we are 95% confident that the true difference in the wages between the male and female wages is negative 4.53, so $4.53, comma, well, and no, I'm not explaining it. So, and 0.18 cents. So, so basically, the mean difference is between that. So because that's such a small difference, 18 cents difference per hour, it doesn't prove anything. It does not prove that males make more or females make more. It doesn't prove that they're different by that much. So we would just conclude that there's not enough data to confirm that there's a difference. So in the answer sheet, it says, we can also see that there is insufficient evidence using the confidence interval method because 0 is included in our confidence. Oh yeah, that's another thing we learned. So in the material, the textbook, it tells us that basically if our confidence interval contains a 0 in either one of our high, low, or upper, lower bounds, then we know that there's not a whole bunch of difference in the data spread or whatever, and that I guess that basically equates to there not being enough evidence to prove the test statistic. So the last question, question 5, says, take action. In a short paragraph, describe the action you feel should be taken based on the statistical results above. So what did you come up with for that one? I can't hear you.
I think since the experiment was a normal distribution experiment, I think next time, if a data is being collected, it should be randomly selected in the population of the students. I think if you go to campus, students, they are both male and female. So I think The data should be randomly selected. Then, after it has been randomly selected, then there should be a segregation, like separation between the female and the male. We learned that in a simple random selected experiment, there is no bias. Like the degree of bias is very small. So this my take that if next time the sample taken should be simple randomly selected sample. I think the results they will get an accurate result for that.
Okay. Yeah, it says our
Do you
answers will
agree?
vary. Yeah, I put based on our statistical results
Okay.
on the professor's survey on female and we should use a larger sample to have a better idea of true differences, and possibly use an SRS sample method. We should not be concerned about the differences. So because of the data, I just put we should not be very concerned about the differences in the male and female wages because the data shows very little significant difference, significance. So, okay. Well, are we ready to take our quiz? Okay. I think your mic is muted. Let's see here. Let me just grab my. Okay. So, Millie, are you ready to take the quiz? Okay. Okay, Libby. Okay. Yeah, you love Dory, huh? Okay, so let me go back to. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can. Okay, Libby. Okay, so I'll turn my computer around. Do you have your whatever you need populated so you could take the quiz, Millie? Oh, I can't hear you. I think your mic is muted.
Okay. Are you talking about the data from the question?
Yeah,
The
well, I'm just
quiz?
talking about, do you have your Excel ready to go so you could take the quiz?
Yes, I'm about to open the data. If this time it will work for me. Let me see. Oh, okay, I'm coming.
Oh, wow, you got a blue tongue.
Okay, I'm trying to open it, but I'm waiting for someone to come and help me here. I think. Have you answered the question number 1 and 2?
No, yet. I haven't opened. Oops, sorry. I haven't opened the quiz yet.
Okay.
Wait and see if you.
Oh, okay. I've already opened, but we need to download a data, a dentist office bill survey and a freshman dinner survey. But it's giving me the same problem like yesterday, so I'm trying to work it out. Hello, Tammy.
Hi. Hi.
Still, I try opening it. It's not opening. I think I should report this case to our instructor or the technical team because the way they save the file, I can't open it with my laptop. It can't be opened on Excel.
Okay.
So unless we share your data, you open it, then we share it. Then.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll turn my computer around so you can see my SPSS stuff. So, were you trying to open the dot save or the?
Yes, the save file, the dentist office bill that's saved. And the freshman dinner that's saved. That's the one that I'm trying to open so that I can get the data for the calculation, but it's not responding.
Okay. Let me share my screen.
Yesterday's one too gave me the same problem.
Okay. I'm gonna share my screen. I think one thing to remember is that let me pull up. So on this list of all the data files,
Uh-huh.
I believe. Let me see here. So the ones that end in save, I think, are files for SPSS, but the ones that end in something else.
XLSX is for
Yeah.
Excel, right? Okay.
Yeah. So you tried that? You tried both? You tried the.
Okay. So I'm searching through whether to find it and then open.
So go to the main page.
Okay, so it's here by SPS. Let me see whether I can find the Excel. I can't find the Excel save one.
I think.
It's only the SPPS that is showing here.
Yeah, that's weird. Normally all the other ones are first, and then this is second. Okay. Well, let's go to. Consoles.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? It looks like they're all, for some reason, the Excel whatever listing isn't available.
Yeah.
Because usually they're listed first and then the dot saves are at the end. Okay, well, anyway, that's fine. We'll just, I'll just turn my screen around. I'm not a pro at this because I just learned this lesson last night. But hopefully we'll be able to figure it out. So, okay. So, well, okay. Did you answer?
I can't hear you. I said I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
No.
Hello?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry. I think that when I turned it around, I think the microphone like jiggled out. Okay, so.
Prince, the way the file was saved now, it wasn't saved as Excel. It was saved as a different SSPPS. I don't have that format on my laptop. No, she can't because during the course they told us to buy that format. Yeah.
Millie,
Hello?
can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I can hear you small. It's not loud.
Okay. Did you answer question 1 and 2?
Yes, I've done that already.
Okay. Okay, great. So question 3, you want to handle that one since we don't need SPS anything to that?
Question number 3. What requirement can be checked when conducting activities to compare it to with independent sample? I think it's when the mean is normally distributed for each group.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You just said it in one way.
Any other ones? This is mark all that apply.
And the question number 4 is the t-test, a t-score, right?
Right. So
the
for
test
question
statistics.
number 3, though, you're supposed to click on a simple random sample was drawn from each population. So it's marked.
Amanda, please, I can't hear you.
Okay.
I think.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay. I don't know if it's when I turn it around. I don't know. That's weird. Okay, so for question 3, it should be a simple random sample was drawn for each population. That box should be clicked, and the sample mean is normally distributed for each group. Should be both of those boxes checked for number 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so question 4. Yeah, you're right, the t-score. And then question 5. We read about this in the material in the textbook. You remember that one?
Question 5. Yeah, 2 samples are independent. If I think it says no. Okay, knowing which subject will be in group 1, the same which subject will be group 2. B, knowing which subject will be in group 1 tells you nothing about which subject will be in group 2. 2 samples as independent. Okay, so knowing which subject will be in group one tells you nothing about which subject will be in group two. That's independent sample. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, so then going down to the next set, we have information. For the next 6 questions, use this dentist office data. The data represents a simple random dental bills at a dentist office in Idaho. And then one in Rexburg. So our group one mean will be the bill at Idaho Falls, and then the group two will be mean at the Rexburg office.
Okay.
Perform a hypothesis test to determine if the bill at the Idaho Falls is less than the mean bill at the Rexburg office, which means we have, okay, so then it tells us our null hypothesis and then our alternate hypothesis. We're going to use a level of significance of 0.10. So I'm going to just write down my real quick. Okay, so it says, what is our degrees of freedom round to 3 decimal places? So okay, so the first thing that we have to do is recode the data. So empty spaces. So we're just going okay, so this is the part. It says just add new name and click OK. Okay.
Now, what did you do?
See what degrees of freedom are going to be under tested statistics. So if we go to analyze and then to compare the means, and then we go to independent test statistics, and we're going to move our basis okay. The group subgroup specifies an here. So compare means. Something wrong.
Tell me. Okay.
Is he explaining how
No.
hang on one second, I gotta take a look at that.
You be like that. Why did you give me like that? What are you doing? You don't know how to play game. You know, I mean, see that then.
Okay, sorry. Maybe what I'll do is watch the tutorial. My computer hours. Maybe we should pause our meeting and I don't know if we can go back and record more later, but because I need to figure out how to get the groups the right way. You're supposed to recode it, and then label the groups 1 and 2. But I'm having a hard time doing it. It's not working. So it's not populating data. It's telling me that there's an error. So I don't know if maybe I can try to get a hold of our teacher assistant.
Okay.
And then maybe you can get a hold of the online support people.
Okay.
And then maybe we can try to take the quiz again later.
Okay. Is it today or tomorrow?
Well, yeah, you know what? I think it's due tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's due Thursday night. So I guess you can, maybe you can just email me when you get yours figured out, and then I can email you when I get mine figured out. I might have to see if the computer has any extra appointments available. In fact, let me see.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can try to go to the online support, the tutor page. See if they have any more appointments. Anyway, because I was getting confused last night when they were talking about this part with the recoding. So
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll stop recording and we will just